You're live.
Hi there, my name is John Chesko on behalf of the Langley Chamber of Commerce. I'm sitting here with Kevin Spenst. He is the president and CEO, correct? Yes, of Mainland Construction Materials. We're here to talk about resilience. So, as I'm sure you're aware, we are interviewing business owners and executives on their time through COVID and their reactions, whatever they may be, whether it be positive, negative, and how they dealt with that. Ultimately, the topic is resilience. So with that, I will start with my first question. Kevin, what did you learn about yourself and your organization during the pandemic?
I think what we learned mostly is that people are much more resilient than we expected them to be. I think people found a way to get through this, and we got through it together. And even though there was a lot of noise in the background and a lot of things that people didn't understand from a business perspective, I think we did very well. We managed to pull together and get it done.
Awesome. What would you say was the biggest surprise? Would it be that we were stronger than you expected?
Yeah, I think a little bit. That was one of the big surprises, that people were stronger. Also that I think it's important to know that people needed a lot of help through this. And as a company, we found a way to help our employees deal with the situation from a personal and a professional. There's a lot of stuff at home that people needed help with. And we were a good conduit to the government. We could seem to get information more than a lot of the people could. And we could decipher that information and give them the information they needed to make the best decisions for themselves.
Awesome. I'm going to jump ahead to my last question because it has to do with that very topic. Right. So I thought it'd be great to jump in. So obviously mental health saw notable increases during the pandemic. This is widely accepted to be true, and we've seen it in our own numbers with clients. What was that impact like for you? And again, how did you respond?
Again, it was a bit of a learning for us, but there was a lot of news. There was a lot of news out there, and nobody could tell, or people didn't know what was true, what was factual, what they needed, what to believe. So, as a company, we stepped up our game, tried to find ways to disseminate all that information and give them the most important things for them, and at the same time, we upped our company EAP. Because people need employing families assistance during this time. So we put that to the forefront. We put posters up. We told them where they could get that help if they needed it. And we tried to keep a little closer touch with our employees from more than just the work, but also from the personal side. Because you could tell when people were struggling, so it was up to us. And we wanted them to come to work and be healthy and have good, productive days of work. They needed to be healthy at home as well. So we tried to do the best we could that way.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, with our clients, we're in the group benefits consulting business. Thread through almost every client, the discussion of mental health has come up. So it's very, very important. So great answer. What would you say were the biggest challenges your industry faced over the last 24 months?
Again, besides the mental health, just information. We had to find ways to give information to our employees and make sure that they were healthy to come to work every day.
Awesome. Did you find supply was an issue?
The supply issue really only came up right at the beginning of the pandemic, of course, because there was all the supply issues from everything from toilet paper and masks. So that was the first one. So we did a lot of things around at the beginning of the pandemic where we would go out and source these things that people could even take home if they needed. At one point, we had 5 boxes of toilet paper in the office. We couldn't buy it at the grocery store, but it's an important part of people in their whole life. So we had boxes here. If people needed to take it home, they would.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and in the later, now that it's supply has become an issue now, but I don't know if it's pandemic related or just the whole situation around the world. But again, we're trying to find ways to make sure that people have the supplies they need.
Right. Awesome. Organizational innovation, and you've partially answered this already. I apologize for the duplication if there is any, but organizational innovation emerged as a key differentiator for those who gained ground during the pandemic. How did you innovate?
I think, so we're in the construction industry, and the construction industry is a very old industry. I mean, we've done things the same way for a long time. We've milled the roads and paved the roads. It's very, the same work. So we thought we had it figured out.
Right.
But we found over the last 2 years that, if we no longer set the process, but we just set the goalposts, people find a way to get there. We have people working at home now that never worked at home before. We have people that started to work at home but then came back to the office because they were tired of working at home. But I think from a company, just the innovation was just about flexibility. We could be more flexible in everything we did.
And you found there wasn't an impact on production that way?
No, just differences. Like sometimes rather than have the requiring people to do things at a certain time, as long as we gave them the flexibility and again, the goalpost, you have it done by the end of the week, people get it done.
Right.
And people work different hours now. Everybody used to show up here at 8 o'clock and go home at 5. Now some people work 6 to 3 and some people work 10 to 7. I mean, we can be flexible and still get the work done.
Awesome, awesome. Last question. Resilience doesn't mean bouncing back to normal. It means being transformed towards a new normal. What does that look like for you in your business?
I think for us, it's just having a different conversation going forward. So no longer having a process set for everything. Let's talk to the employees about it. Let's talk to them about what works for them. Let's talk to them about what they can do to bring to us as a company, and what we can do as a company for them so that they will work for us. Because we know that the number of people looking for work is low, and every person has many choices for jobs nowadays. So we have to be the leading edge on that. And in construction, it's not easy for us because, again, we've done things the same way for a long time.
It seems like a common thread in everything you do is taking care of your employees. You know,
I believe we do that the best at that, and I think it's so important for every company to do that.
awesome. Kevin Spenst, thank you very much for your time. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.